Welcome back to another episode of the Pain, Performance, and Pohada podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nick Smith. I'm a licensed physical therapist and strength and conditioning coach for Jiu Jitsu and other combat athletes. What makes a good physical therapy experience versus a bad physical therapy experience? Over the last couple weeks, I've encountered a handful of different grapplers, athletes, who have all come from previous experiences in physical therapy. And I want to touch on some of the common themes that come up and some of the things that a lot of people are turned off by physical therapy, what has maybe not wanted them to pursue it further, and just overall just bad experiences. And I want to utilize this as an opportunity for you to be able to kind of self-reflect. Maybe you've already been to physical therapy in the past, or maybe you're looking actively and you're not really sure what to look out for. What are some positive things? What are some negative things? What are absolute no's, red flags? And so today I kind of want to give you a list of red flags, things to kind of ponder and make sure that when you're coming into working with a coach, working with a rehab professional, you're not going to get screwed over. You're going to get good quality care, and you're going to get the support that you need to be able to go back to your sport effectively and have confidence that you can return safely and hopefully not get re-injured with the same exact thing. So one of the first things that I want to start off with, and this should really be kind of the preface for everybody, it's really favorable to find a rehab professional who really truly understands your sport. And not like, oh, I work with athletes, but like, no, I work with Jiu Jitsu. I work with wrestlers. I work with Muay Thai. Whatever it is that your activity is. Somebody who works with basketball players. Now, although I work with primarily combat athletes, I've had experience working with NFL players, NBA players, players in the MLB, professional water polo, golf, tennis, you name it. Some of those sports I have played myself growing up, and I have a lot of experience working with them. And I've worked with people at the highest level. Some people now, I've worked with all these different sports. Now I've kind of catered more towards a specific population that I just personally love. But working with a sports physical therapist isn't necessarily enough, especially with a sport that is so niche, like wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. If the person doesn't know what the sport is, it's very, very unlikely that they are going to be able to maximize their opportunity to be able to help you. And the reason for that is because they don't know the true demands of the sport. Some people, and this has happened, I've heard these conversations, even myself talking to medical professionals, when they ask what jiu-jitsu is, they think it's like karate. They understand that it's martial arts, but they don't understand that it's like, well, it's sort of like wrestling, but also sort of like judo. And they don't have a really clear idea of, hey, what comes with that is, being able to do takedowns, being able to pass guard, making sure that you sustain certain level of grips. You have somebody who's literally trying to rip your neck and joints off, take them beyond their physiological limit. They don't understand that. So first things first is really finding your provider who understands the sport, truly understands the demands of the sport. It is nice if they also do the sport. If they do the sport, most likely they're going to understand the demands of the sport. It's not always necessary, but if they do participate in the sport, it's really helpful. They don't need to be a black belt world champion. They don't need to be a black belt necessarily, but they need to have a really good understanding of the different positions and things you need to be able to do. That being said, that's where things should start in the first place. Don't settle for less. Buy once, cry once. I said it. I've seen too many people who have had multiple PT experiences. They're like, I worked with a sports physical therapist and they didn't help me at all. Give me the same shit. Okay, find somebody who understands the sport. That's where, at the very least, your first step is find that. Now, there is some nuance to this. Other things that will also come with that as a byproduct is if the person understands the sport, they're probably not going to lump you in and have you doing the same stuff that maybe an 80-year-old woman is doing next to you in an outpatient physical therapy clinic. That's another common complaint, is like there's not enough specificity. in or challenge within their own physical therapy. If you go in and your gym only has like, some bands and like some 5-pound dumbbells, it's time to leave. You're not going to get pushed hard enough and you're not going to get back to the way that you want to. So if you're working out in an outpatient physical therapy clinic and you realize, hey, I'm doing the same exercises, no progression, I'm being under challenged, I'm not even being supervised by a physical therapist, get out. Go find something else. Another byproduct of maybe somebody who doesn't understand the sport is this does happen. They'll tell you to quit. And this even happens in physical therapy. And I hate my profession for it, but I've had countless people, even just in the last couple of weeks, they've gone to physical therapy multiple times for multiple injuries. And the physical therapist is like annoyed with them. They're just like, well, why don't you just like quit the sport and take up something else? And if somebody says that to you, you know damn well that they don't train. Our sport is nuts. Jiu Jitsu people are, we're built different. We are built different. We're wired differently than a person who just like casually runs or goes to the gym. A person who does Jiu Jitsu, you're going to know we're a little crazy. We're nuts. We will do anything to keep training. And you should have somebody in your corner who is willing to, quite frankly, do anything, give you every opportunity that they can to set you up for success. So you should go back to the mats. Anything less than that is a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of energy. And it's frustrating. Find somebody who gives a shit. Another byproduct of somebody who does not train or understand the ins and outs of the sports is you need to be tested. It's one thing to go into physical therapy and people are giving you all these cute little modalities meaning like hot pack, cold pack, electrical stim. Maybe you got a sports physical therapy clinic who has compression sleeves and you can wear those after your treatment and everything's just really fluffy. And it's treating symptoms. If your physical therapist is chasing pain, get rid of them. If they're focusing on the symptoms, they're focusing on the wrong things. Yes, pain will be a byproduct. And yes, you do need to manage your load and everything based around that pain. But if their sole purpose is to get rid of pain, you're going to fail. Because that physical therapist needs to be making sure that your body is appropriately prepared to return to jiu-jitsu. In order to do that, you need to be tested. You need to be tested for your range of motion. You need to be tested for your strength. There are sport-specific positions you need to be able to get into. And unless those things are measured, monitored, tracked, tested, you are set up for failure. Sure, you might be able to skate by, get back to training, but you might be underprepared. Those tests, those benchmarks, those milestones are essential for you to be able to know what exercises within your program and what your physical therapist should be giving you to reach that next milestone. And there's a continuum of things you need to be able to do. If you're just being thrown random exercises that are hard because they made your muscles hurt and they're going to make you sore and, ooh, this is hard, I give this to athletes. Who cares? If it doesn't get you to be able to do a berimbolo because you like to invert when you train, if it doesn't get you to be able to bend your knee enough so you can shoot for a takedown, if it doesn't prepare your shoulder for someone to sprawl on you when you thought you had a deep single and you really didn't, who cares what the freaking exercise is? You need to be tested. If you're not tested, you're not going to be ready for the sport. If you're not ready for the sport, the likelihood of you getting injured goes up astronomically higher. I was going to go further with this, but I think that covers it. Honestly, find somebody who understands the sport, not just a sports physical therapist. Find somebody who understands the sport, truly understands the sport. If you can't spout off what De La Riva is and them understand it, they don't understand the sport. That's a good quick one. And it's something that even when I go on phone calls with people and they're just explaining what happened and just them being able to tell me, oh, I was hitting single leg X and the guy grabbed my foot and I posted on my arm backwards and hurt my shoulder. And I was like, got it. I know exactly what you're talking about because I train. I get it 100%. You need to find somebody who knows the sport, truly understands it. You need somebody who cares. And by that, it's not just putting in effort, but truly cares about you getting back to the mats. You'll know if somebody trains by that. And ultimately, you need to be tested. The testing proves that your body is ready. There's evidence to support these exercises. These movements are not just exercises. They're preparing you to pass certain tests to show that your body's prepared to return to training again. That is the whole purpose of physical therapy. To be equipped with the tools to be able to return to the mats and manage your symptoms. That is true ownership of your injury. If your physical therapist is unable to check those 3 boxes, you're wasting your time. You might have a successful story, but something might happen later. You may be underprepared. And this isn't supposed to be a fear-mongering situation. I'm not trying to scare you to maybe say, you might have a really good physical therapist that you're working with, and I think you should continue working with them. But if you are skeptical, if you are questioning things, if you're not making the progress that you want, if you feel like your therapist is really just kind of treating you like a number, there's something better for you out there. If you've been questioning it, that feeling is real, and you should dig into that and think about it sincerely. The quality of your ability to train moving forward, you shouldn't have to settle. If you're somebody who's dealing with this, or maybe you've had bad experiences in the past and you're like, I need to be able to train again. I want to be able to connect with you, whether it's with me, whether it's with one of my colleagues that also does this. I want to set you up with the right person that gives you the right vibe and also checks those boxes that I've already discussed. If you have any hesitation at all, I would love to just hear about your experience. I'm not trying to hijack you. I just like to know these things. Knowing the community, being able to have these conversations and have real conversations with people about their experiences is so powerful, because you can share expertise, you can share insight, and it helps me be able to create better content. It helps me be able to navigate your journey. Maybe I can just direct you in a direction, and this is all it takes. But if I can be of any help to you, I want you to reach out to me. You can always reach out to me in the show notes. You can always find me on Instagram, message me. My email's there. Anytime you want to talk with me, I'd love to be able to discuss your situation, see what the best course of action is. And if we work together, awesome. If I can direct you to one of my colleagues, awesome. You deserve to be on the mats. Remember, pain is not something you should fear, just something you should respect. This is the way. See you.